It's been a long off-season for local football fans. After the miserable end to last season, Steelers fans in particular can't wait for the 2021 season to begin. And that wait is almost over. Soon, the black and gold will be back on the field at training camp. And tonight, we'll get you ready to go camping with the help of the quarterback, Charlie Batch, and the Post-Gazette's Gerry Dulac, who will break down the upcoming workouts. It's time. Steelers Training Camp All Access starts right now.
Welcome to the FedEx Steelers Training Camp All Access Show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Steelers Training Camp All Access. I'm Bob Pompeani here in the studio, and I'm joined by my friend, our analyst, quarterback Charlie Batch. Welcome back to the main studio for the first time in 2 years. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to
With
see
hair.
you too, Bob. Oh, this is phenomenal, man. This is great, man. Wow.
Well, it's going to be fun because in addition to being happy that we're back together here in the same studio, we're happy to be back talking Steelers football, which, believe it or not, will be starting up before you know it. Let's take a look at some of the dates that you will certainly want to mark on your calendar. First off, training camp practices begin on July the 28th at Heinz Field. Rich Walsh will have more on that coming up very shortly. On the first weekend of August, Canton, Ohio will turn into Pittsburgh West when the Steelers play the Cowboys in the Hall of Fame game on Thursday, August the 5th. And later that weekend, 5 members of the Steelers organization will be inducted into Pro Football Hall of Fame. They have only one home preseason game. That's going to take place on August the 21st against Detroit. And finally, the regular season opener is on September the 12th, 1 p.m. in Buffalo. That game will air right here on KDKA TV. I want to focus more on the start of training camp. Let's bring in my colleague, Rich Walsh, who has full camp preview. Rich?
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. As you said, the Steelers will begin their training camp here in just a few days, but despite the team's hope that everything would be back to normal come late July, they were thrown a curveball by the league when it came to training camp plans. For the second straight year, the Steelers will not venture out to Latrobe to hold their annual training camp. The league denied their request to return to St. Vincent College, so they will instead hold their workouts at Heinz Field starting later this month.
I'm gonna do like we've always done, and that's adhere to the protocol to the letter. And our team's gonna have the same mentality. We're not gonna allow it to become a distraction or a discussion. It simply is what it is, and we'll deal with it.
And when those practices begin, all eyes will be on the return of veteran quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, who was a much bigger presence at this year's OTAs and minicamp workouts than in years past. Roethlisberger knows he only has a few years left in black and gold, but says his mentality coming into 2021 hasn't really changed.
I'm going to approach this like I do every season, like it's my last. I mean, I think that's the approach you have to take. And you don't approach it that way because it could be your last, but you approach it because every single play in the game of football could be your last. Every game could be your last game. And that just means I'm going out to give it everything I have. I've never looked towards the future. I've always looked towards the right here and now. And that's what's important for me for this season, is giving everything I have right here and right now for this group of guys.
Another focus of this year's camp will be first-round draft pick Najee Harris. The Alabama running back was both a popular and divisive selection with their first pick. He's looked good in the offseason workout so far and says he actually has a leg up learning this new offense because it's similar to what he ran at Alabama.
A lot of what they're doing in their offense really resembles a lot of what we did. Just like, putting the players in the best position to make a play and really not doing too much thinking, just fast playing. The more you think, the slower you play. So it seems like they're trying to make everything as easy as possible so the players can just play fast and really use the best of their ability.
Most Steelers say they've already gotten a good feel for the new Matt Canada offense as they head into training camp, but Coach Tomlin says he's reserving judgment on where they stand until they start playing games.
Hopefully we're setting guys up and putting them in position to have the type of impact that we need them to have and they desire to have. But I never really kind of measure or evaluate this component of the calendar until I assess 2021. So stay tuned.
All right, while many fans are disappointed that they won't be able to watch camp from the rolling hills of St. Vincent College, many will still be able to check out those practices from the friendly confines of Heinz Field. Here you see the schedule of the open practices that will be held starting on July 28th. Admission is free to all of those practices, but in order to attend, you have to follow a couple rules. Fans will have to secure a mobile ticket through Ticketmaster.com. Right now, I'm joined by the Post-Gazette's Gerry Dulac. Thanks for joining us, Gerry. Right here live, not in person anymore from Zoom and not from that amazing den that you have. Gerry, the one thing I want to ask you about is, what's the one thing that you're looking at, the one position or positions for this upcoming training camp?
You know, Rich, the thing that I'm most intrigued by is the offensive line, and not just the personnel changes there, because let's face it, they have 5 new players at positions, if you don't count Zach Banner, who played only 3 quarters there at right tackle. But it's what they're going to do on the offensive line, how they're going to play, the technique they're going to use, the scheme they're going to use. These guys are going to put their hands in the ground. They're going to fire out. No more drop stepping, no more setting up a wall. They want the guys to be more mobile. You're going to see some zone blocking, wide zone stuff. That, to me, is going to be the key to that running game, and that's what I want to watch the most.
Well, it'll definitely be interesting to see how they replace that many starters up front while also trying to win games and have a running game, too. All right, let's go back to the main desk and Bob and Charlie.
Welcome back to the FedEx Steelers Training Camp All Access Show.
You know, Mike Tomlin has always been known as a player's coach. One of the reasons why is because of his communication skills, and there is no better way to judge a coach's communication than hearing exactly how he runs a practice. Coach Tomlin was nice enough to allow Steelers TV to do just that with some entertaining results.
I got the best seat in the house. Entertain me. Mick, you got to get in the damn end zone more, man. You know, opportunities, there's an expiration date on opportunities. I don't want to hear about the labor pains, man. Deliver the damn baby. Conditioning relative to your position. Their lower body conditioning that these drills stress in terms of things relative to their position. They do that every day, man. Their lower body's going to be ready for the work. All this stuff, lower body, man. 1st and 10 football. If you ain't in, get out. Jay Lane, you better ball search over there, man. Where you put your shoulder into that dude, man? Okay, maybe I was just at a bad angle. I apologize if the tape tell me different. Okay. Because that was a classic ball search opportunity. You was there right on time. I've never seen a dude crib one in the preseason be unemployed. Man, we got 4 preseason games, man. Guys gonna get opportunities. Every down is 3rd down. What y'all cooking on back here, 20? Keep your eyes clean, 2-5. Don't see too much. Keep your eyes clean, baby. Hey, what James look like on that sideline over there? He was in? Good. James, you in over there? Awesome. Dude, he's a college football Hall of Famer. Yeah. You see his career stats? No, but I see the film. He's a college football Hall of Famer. Yeah. Are you kidding me? He got 5,000 plus yards receiving or whatever in college. Okie State. Ooh, oh, watch out, watch out. I like that run after. It's like, watch out, watch out. I thought you was gonna give it to him one day. Don't save it for later. Give him a sample. Here we go. Oh my goodness.
Dang! Oh, that's tough. That's reason number 1.
That's that pedigree.
Yeah, you can't coach that.
That's that pedigree. I'm gonna reserve 22 for Devin Bush. I like matchups. I like matchups. I want to see this a lot. I want to see this a lot. We're going to do it all. You're going to have to cover him. He's going to have to pick you up in blitz. We're going to do it all. We're going to find everybody's soft underbelly. Hey, you know, the things that we acknowledge, that intangible quality that is team, we respect it, we acknowledge, we put in to it, we give of ourselves, our time to the cause, we help young people. Put that on display, man, in environments like this, man, when we come in and we're working. Younger guys watch the older guys in terms of never being in a hurry. They're taking care of their bodies, they're doing their due diligence. And quite simply, they have a routine to stay ahead of it by showing up ready to work, being highly conditioned, and establishing good habits that keep you on the grass.
My favorite line, don't tell me about the labor pains, just deliver the damn baby. Our thanks again to Coach Tomlin and Steelers TV for putting that segment together, especially considering where Mike Tomlin stands among his peers. You know, check out the numbers right here. He's about to start his 15th year as head coach of the Steelers. Superlative regular season record. That record is exactly even in the postseason. And, of course, he's made 2 Super Bowls. He's won 1 of them. Didn't like the finish last year, of course. Let's bring back Charlie Batcher to talk about that and his style. When you hear him mic'd up like that, Charlie, kind of takes you back to when you were a player. Do you remember any of that kind of stuff?
I do. It gets you fired up. The adrenaline's going, but unfortunately the body's telling me, no, you can't go back and play again. But it's beautiful the way that he's able to interact with his players, especially as the team becomes younger. He finds a way to motivate his players. He knows what buttons to push, whether it's Ben Roethlisberger or Devin Bush or Najee Harris. He knows how to get you motivated and get you ready and what to prepare heading into training camp.
From watching him during practices and games, he always seems to be teaching. And I'm sure that's something you appreciate. I know he told us during his show that's the best part of the job for him, is that teaching and watching young players grow.
And when you're in OTA formats, that's exactly what's happening in that format. You're slowing down the pace a little bit. Now you're really learning from the neck up just to make sure that you're in certain positions, because when you get to training camp at this portion of the season, now you know 3 weeks from now he has to make tough decisions as it relates to what his roster looks like. So he understands it, the players understand that pressure, and he doesn't shy away from it. And that's the fact that I love about Coach Tomlin as it relates to the business side of football that everybody knows about.
Year 15, man, it's gone by fast, but here it is. All right, Charlie, coming up, we're going to continue our all-access look at the Steelers with a behind-the-scenes view of Najee Harris' first trip into Pittsburgh. That's next. Don't go away.
Welcome back to the FedEx Steelers Training Camp All-Access Show.
All right, welcome back, everyone. You know, here in Pittsburgh, we often take for granted the views that our city offers. That first look at downtown after driving right through the Fort Pitt Tunnel, or the terrific look of the skyline from Mount Washington. Well, Steelers' first-round pick, Najee Harris, got to experience those views and a whole lot more when he was drafted. The Steelers TV went alongside for the ride.
Us as my organization, my team, was all hoping for Pittsburgh. Just because I personally thought Nate first thought it would be a good fit for me, how good of a Coach Tomlin is, and just the people there and stuff like that. I mean, I only follow the Niners because I'm from the Bay, and the Steelers because I like watching the Steelers for like 5-6 years now. Yeah, so it was crazy how I'm actually part of the team that I was watching. So yeah, man, it worked out. And I was with Marcus Peters, and he was telling me, he's like, bro, you about to go to the Steelers, watch them. He said, watch, bro. So, I mean, he was next to me, and then my agent was, and he was like, they're gonna call you anytime soon. And literally when he said that, like, a phone rang, so I was like, oh, that's dope. Oh, that's dope. Oh, that's clean. Oh, there it is right there. Oh, that's nice as hell. Look like Alice in Wonderland out here. It's nice as hell. Got a bridge right there. What is the PNC Park? Is that the baseball field? Oh, the Pirates? Oh, I'm about to rock heck of Pirate gear. You know, it's funny though, after I got picked, I hugged my mom and everybody, and the first person to call me was Snoop Dogg. He's a huge fan. Like, man, welcome to the team, man. Like, he was the owner. I'm like, what the heck? He was like, man, right when you know what I'm saying, right when you get that jersey, you gotta set one aside for me and put it up in his compound, because he got his compound out there. Oh, it's dope, man. I did not know Pitt was right there though. But it's dope, man. I want to see the inside. I'm really trying to see the unis though. I'm really trying to see the unis, all of them.
Najee, Bernie, how are you, man? Nice to meet you. Welcome to Pittsburgh.
Thanks, man. Thanks
How you doing? Good. How was your trip in?
It was good.
What's up?
Happy to be here, man.
Like it.
Yeah.
Official?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in.
I'll do it.
All right, we're good. All right.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. You can kind of like grab the brim of the hat. Yeah, there you go. Kind of this smile there. Perfect. Good, that's it. Nice. There it is. How's that feel?
Looks good.
Nice, big smile again. There it is, good. Good, one last one. There you go. There it is. One more of those. Awesome. There you go. Kind of look out the window.
Great stuff from behind the scenes. Our thanks once again to Steelers TV. And a reminder that you can watch a new episode of The Standard this weekend on all the Steelers digital and media platforms. And taking a look at the stats, no surprise why the Steelers drafted Najee Harris with their first pick. He was basically the best player on the best team in college football. And check out the improvement over the 4 years, specifically when it comes to catching the football, which is something the Steelers are sure to want him to do on Sundays. So, Charlie, what you think of the pick at the time and your impression so far of Najee Harris through OTAs and minicamp?
Yeah, I thought that was a tremendous pick when they picked him up there. Everybody was excited, including myself. And I think when you look back on everything that Najee has done during the OTAs, they knew in the rookie minicamps he was going to be the only one in. He took every single rep. So you have to give credit to running backs coach Eddie Faulkner. He did a nice job of getting caught up to speed, and now let's see how much he can absorb as the longer that training camp goes.
Yeah, this is a guy who can make an immediate impact. It's all tied together with offensive line. But the pass catching, we saw those numbers. I think that's going to be a big part of what he's going to do in this first year.
It's going to be huge because he is a 3-down back. And anytime he's on the field, you have to now respect both pass and run. And you're not going to see the rotation of running backs like we saw in the past.
All right, one of us in the studio probably saw more from Najee this summer than anyone else, and he's standing by with Rich Walsh right now. Rich?
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. We're going to continue our conversation on Najee Harris in just a second, but first, let's take a look at these numbers. The Steelers could not get a running game going throughout the 2020 season. The team was near the bottom or dead last in all of the major statistical categories, including rush yards and yards per carry, and it is safe to say the Steelers drafted Najee Harris to buck that trend. So they definitely need a running game, and Najee Harris is a guy that should help. Now, after watching Harris, Jerry, in practice, I was out there for a few of these with you. Is he everything you expected?
You know, Rich, I'm not a big fan of judging players in shorts and OTAs, but when you see Najee Harris in shorts, you realize this guy's a stud, and he's a big-time player. And as Charlie mentioned, they did a good job in OTAs and minicamp of having him as the feature back. He's going to be the bell cow. I mean, that's Mike Tomlin's MO. It always has been. And as long as this guy stays healthy, he's going to get the majority of the carries. He's a third-down back. He's a home run hitter, Rich. And, you know, people love home run hitters, and that's what this guy is. And I'm excited to see him in a game. But, again, you see him in shorts, you go, wow, you know what he's about.
Yeah, I like him. You got to love the spin moves and the hurdle. Now, we touched a little bit about the offensive line early on when we talked to you. But I want to ask more about the impact of not having David DeCastro and then adding a guy like Trey Turner. Is this an upgrade at all?
Well, it's not an upgrade, Rich, but they knew that Marquise Pouncey was going to retire. They knew they were likely going to move on from Alejandro Villanueva. They did not know they were going to be without David DeCastro. That ankle injury never got better. David told me he needs that third surgery. He hoped against hope it would get better. It never did. And then, you know, now they have to start cutting their losses. He needed another surgery. He'd have been out most of the year. So they had to let him go, and they bring in Trey Turner, who's had injury issues. We'll see how he fits in. But the Castro injury and situation kind of took them by surprise. It's not what was on their radar.
Well, at least they got another Pro Bowler. All right, thanks a lot, Jerry. The Steelers will be looking to run the ball a lot more, and now it looks like we've got to run the break, so I'll send it back to Bob.
Yes, we do. Thanks, guys. And coming up on Steelers Training Camp All Access, we're going to dive into the one individual player that all of our analysts will be keeping an eye on when training camp gets underway. That's next.
Welcome back to the FedEx Steelers Training Camp All Access Show.
All right, here's a look at full preseason game schedule for the Steelers. Of course, they have one more than most because the Hall of Fame game on the 5th. After that, we have the final 3 games, the 12th at Philadelphia, the 21st. That's home against Detroit, and then the finale, as usual. This one will be at Carolina. All right, Charlie, so let's talk about it now. Give me a guy you're going to be watching specifically in this preseason.
I'm looking at Devin Bush. And reason being is because he's 9.5 months off of surgery. He's the heart and soul of that defense. So how will the Steelers treat him when he reports to camp this week? Will they put him on a physically unable to perform list, or will they give him the green light to perform in practice? So I'll be looking for that.
All right, for me, I'm going to be looking at Dwayne Haskins. They brought him in here for a reason, potentially high reward, low risk, really. But the thing is, he hasn't really faced a lot here. He looks good in shorts or whatever. You got to go through these reads, and that was a problem for him in Washington. Rich and Jerry, what's up?
Well, guys, we're both looking at offense. Jerry, who do you like?
Yeah, Rich, Najee Harris. You know, again, when you bring in a guy like that, everybody loves the home run hitter, the long ball hitter. I mean, he's a big-time player. That running game was the worst in the league the last 2 years. This guy was brought in to help change that. I want to see Najee Harris in action.
And I don't know if this is obvious, guys, but I'm going with Ben Roethlisberger. He he has to prove something, I think, to a lot of people, and he feels like he has to prove something. His former coach, Bill Cowher, talked a little bit about he's more motivated now. So he had a bad stretch at the end of the year. I think he might bounce back. I'm looking at Ben Roethlisberger this preseason. Back to you guys.
Well, he should be very motivated after the way it ended last year. I know he is, and I think his arm, 1 year removed from the surgery, is a plus, too.
Absolutely. And the way that they ended this season, trust me, he has a fire lit underneath him. He wants to get back to that Super Bowl and win it this year.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for week 1 of our Access programs. We have another one coming up next week. We'll be 3 days into training camp. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll do it again next Saturday night. We're right here, 11:35 on KDKA, your television home of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Good night, everyone.